So I hope everyone have installed your Playwright, Node.js, and Visual Studio Code on your local system. Correct? Okay. So now today let's begin with introduction of your JavaScript. Okay. So later I'll be taking you guys to how to write TypeScript. Okay. In the first 2 days it's not required. It will take some time. Okay. 01. Can you give me a minute? Just a minute. Yeah. So let's understand about introduction to JavaScript. Okay. So introduction to JavaScript. So hereafter I'll be representing JavaScript as JS. JS is called as a client-side scripting language. Client-side scripting language. So client-side means, any guess what you mean by client-side? Okay. Works well only inside a browser. So it is going to be work only inside a browser. So basically to control any user actions from a browser, we use JavaScript. Okay. So we use JavaScript. It is got bold. Okay. We use JavaScript. So Playwright as a automation tool. Playwright as a automation tool utilize JavaScript, and they created their own engine, their own browser engine to stimulate user actions on any given web applications, so it means if I want to perform any UI action on a browser, I need to send my statements or my actions via JavaScript or TypeScript to Playwright engine, so that actions will be performed on the real browser. Okay, and it helps us to validate the behavior So now this makes me to understand why JavaScript is required or TypeScript is required for automating any application using your Playwright. So Playwright ఏం చేసింది? సో ప్లేరైట్ ఈజ్ ఓన్డ్ బై మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్. మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ ఏం చేశారంటే, నువ్వు ఏదైనా సరే వెబ్ అప్లికేషన్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే నువ్వు మాన్యువల్గా ఏమైతే యాక్షన్స్ నువ్వు పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తావో అటువంటి యాక్షన్స్ని ఒక ఆటోమేషన్, అంటే హ్యూమన్ ఇంటర్వెన్షన్ లేకుండా త్రూ స్క్రిప్టింగ్ ద్వారా కానీ నువ్వు పర్ఫామ్ చేయాలి అంటే ఎలా చేయగలుగుతావు? సో వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారు, ప్లేరైట్ నుంచి దే డెవలప్డ్ ఏ ఓన్ ఇంజన్, వాళ్ళకు ఓన్ జావా స్క్రిప్ట్ ఇంజన్ డెవలప్ చేశారు. సో ఈ ఇంజన్ ద్వారా నువ్వు ఏమైతే స్టేట్మెంట్స్ పంపిస్తావు, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను క్రోమ్ బ్రౌజర్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి, అమెజాన్ అప్లికేషన్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి, నాకు కావాల్సిన ప్రోడక్ట్స్ యాడ్ చేయాలి. సో ఇక్కడ నాకు సీక్వెన్స్ ఆఫ్ స్టెప్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నావు, నువ్వు బ్రౌజర్ టైప్ చెప్తున్నావు, ఏం యాక్షన్స్ ఎక్కడికి క్లిక్ చేయాలని చెప్తున్నావు. సో నువ్వు చెప్పిన దాని ప్రకారం ఆ యాక్షన్స్ అనేవి ఆ టార్గెటెడ్ అప్లికేషన్ మీద స్టిమ్యులేట్ అవుతాయి. సో ఈ యాక్షన్స్, ఈ కమాండ్స్, ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ఏమైతే ఉన్నాయో అవి ఎలా పంపిస్తాము అంటే మనం విల్ సెండ్ త్రూ యువర్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్, బికాస్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ విల్ వర్క్ very well inside a browser. So that's the reason Even type Playwright also builds their own JavaScript engine which can able to interact with any open application on the browser, and it is able to stimulate your user actions. Okay, so this make me to understand, or this make me to enable and perform to understand very well about my TypeScript or JavaScript. Okay, so any questions on this? Anyone?
Oh,
All good? Shall we move on?
yes.
For me, good.
Okay, so to start with, JS. Okay, to start with JS, let's see what is required. So the first topic that I want to bring up to you is learn how to start scripting JavaScript. Okay, so now there are multiple ways to write and check JavaScript. Okay, so first one is traditional way. So what is this traditional way? Is create a JS file. Create a JS file. Inject the JS file inside a HTML page. Okay. Now third step is open the HTML page and see the result. So this is traditional way where we won't use much, but this is the way. If you don't have any editor available, if you don't have any framework available, how do you learn your JavaScript and how do you execute your JavaScript is using these three ways. Using these three steps we can able to write and you can able to check your JavaScript code is working fine or not. For example, let me show you that. So what I told you is, I told you to go and create one JavaScript file. So suppose poc.js. Okay. So don't worry whatever the code I am writing here, I am just writing you, make it to understand. So what is the difference between having Playwright framework in place without having Playwright framework in place? Okay. Alert. Hello. I am learning JS. So again what I told you to create one HTML file. So I am going to create HTML file called as index.html. So there I'll be creating a doc type file. Okay, then I'll be having my okay, it's not required. Okay, so I'll be having my title. Okay, now similarly I'll be having my HTML close. Here I have my body to be available. Okay, here I have my script tag available. Script src is equal to, where is this? I have created this, right? poc.js. Okay, so let's run this. Now what you do, right, go and open your index.html, where it is. Let me reveal in Finder. Okay, see here the script that what I have written. hello, I'm learning JS. It is being executed. Okay. So if don't want to see in a dialog box, so what we can do here is we can write some console.log learning JavaScript. Okay, so if you want to print anything in JavaScript, right, we have either alert or we have this statement called as console.log. So now just come here to your index.html, just refresh it. I'm not able to see my console log anywhere on the screen. So where it is getting printed? So just go and inspect it. You'll be having a console here. So there it is. What happened? See here, I can able to see learning JS is available. So if you don't have Playwright, this is the way how you are want to write your code in JavaScript and how you want to inject it and where you want to evaluate it. Okay, this is the process. So now let's make our life easier, guys. Don't go with this approach. It will take a lot of time. It will kill your time. Okay, don't waste your time. So I'm deleting whatever I have been created. I'm deleting whatever I have been created. Okay. So inside Playwright framework after installation, right? What you guys want to do here is follow me. It is going to be very simple and easy. Step number one is this is the one we are going to be follow. This one we are not going to be follow because it will eat your time. Okay. It is easy also, but still it will take time for you to debug the issues that comes up. Right? So follow this one. What I am going to teach you now, please keep an eye on this. Okay. Step number one is locate test folder. Locate your test folder. Where is the test folder available? This is the one, right? Test folder, right? Okay. Now step number two, what you want to do here is create a file file having name without any spaces or special characters, without having spaces or special characters, ending with spec spec dot ts. You should always have this dot spec dot ts as an extension, as an extension. Okay, so let's see that. So let me delete this whatever that is there. Okay, so let me go and create a new file here. I'm going to call it as day1 dot spec dot ts. Okay, so are you guys clear till now? Anyone
Yes, no, it's good.
clear?
Yeah.
Pratap, I have a question here. Why do we want to save it as spec.ts every time? Like, is there any specific reason for that?
That's what I'm telling. Like if you want to make your scripts to execute using Playwright, so there is a format. It is a framework, right? They have set of
Yeah.
rules and regulations. Okay, so it is too early to tell you about Jest framework. Okay, so what happened internally? It is using a framework called a Jest framework. As you have TestNG in Java, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, Java's Playwright is using internally something called as Jest.js.
Okay.
So now what happened here? If you want to execute any scripts, we have to tell that this is my test case. To represent your test case, we are going to call it as spec file.
Okay.
So that's the reason we always have an extension called as spec.ts.
Got it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So now what we did, we located our folder, we created a empty spec file, right? Now, 1 second. Yeah. So now we found a placeholder where I can go and write my script, right? So now step number 3. Step number 3, right? Write import playwright statement. So what do you mean by this? Right? Import playwright statement. What do you mean by this? Okay, it's very simple. So what you want to do, right? Import test from playwright statement. Okay, import test from playwright. Okay, so very simple. See here, just to go and write import test from @playwright / test. Import test from @playwright / test. Okay, now step number 4. Step number 4, create a test block. Create a test block. Okay, the syntax of test block is, so you should always start with test parenthesis. Always have this test followed with your parenthesis, first placeholder and second placeholder. First placeholder is nothing but your test case name. Always make this first placeholder to occupy with your test case name. Second placeholder should always go with async. So it is too early to discuss what is meant by async. We'll be having a separate session, only one session on your async and await. Okay, so we'll be having detailed session. For now, just remember that we have to occupy this second placeholder with async. So beside your async, again open your parenthesis. Beside your async, just open your parenthesis followed with equal to, greater than symbol, curly braces, close curly braces, open curly braces and close curly braces, and then press enter. So this is the placeholder where we need to code. This is the placeholder where we need to code. So let me repeat back again here. Let's see here very closely. So as I told you, first we'll be using your test parenthesis. First placeholder is going to be my title name. So first test case, okay, comma. So what should be second placeholder? It should be always my async, okay, then followed with your parenthesis, okay, then equal to, greater than symbol, open curly braces and close curly braces. Now this is the placeholder where I want to write my code. Okay, so in JavaScript, the only statement that I have to see, especially in Playwright, right, the only statement that I can able to see my output on the console is using my console.log. What this statement will do, console.log will help you to print the output on the console. సో నువ్వు ఏమైతే కోడ్ రాస్తావో ఆ కోడ్ యొక్క అవుట్పుట్ని ఇంటర్మీడియట్గా చెక్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఎక్కడ చెక్ చేయగలుగుతాం? టెర్మినల్లో చెక్ చేయగలుగుతాం. నువ్వు ఏమైతే కోడ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తావో ఆ వచ్చిన అవుట్పుట్ అంతా టెర్మినల్ ఉంటుంది. ఈ టెర్మినల్ని మనం ఏమని పిలుస్తాం? కన్సోల్ అని పిలుస్తాం. ఓకే, ఈ కన్సోల్లో నువ్వు ఏదైనా సరే అవుట్పుట్ చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే మనకి ప్లేరైట్ జావాస్క్రిప్ట్ టైప్ స్క్రిప్ట్లో ఏముంది? ఓన్లీ వన్ స్టేట్మెంట్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ console.log. నీకు జావాలో system.out.println అని ఎలాగైతే ఉంటుందో, C++లో cout అని ఎలాగైతే ఉంటుందో, రైట్, పైథాన్లో ప్రింట్ అని ఎలాగైతే ఉంటుందో, జావాస్క్రిప్ట్లో కూడా నీకు console.log అనే స్టేట్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సో console.log అని ఉంటుంది. ఇందాక నేను ఫస్ట్ టైం HTML పేజీలో మీకు ఒక అలర్ట్ చూపించాను, అలర్ట్ ఓపెన్ అవ్వడానికి. సో ఆ అలర్ట్స్ కానీ పాపప్స్ కానీ ఓన్లీ బ్రౌజర్లో మాత్రమే ఓపెన్ అవుతాయి, ఈ ప్లేరైట్లో ఓపెన్ కాదు. సో మనకుండే ఒకే ఒక ఆప్షన్ అవుట్పుట్ చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి అంటే console.log స్టేట్మెంట్ మాత్రమే. రిమెంబర్ దట్. ఓకే, సో నౌ టెస్టింగ్ మై JS code, right? So this is the way where I am going to write my logic. ఇక్కడ నేను నా లాజిక్ రాస్తున్నాను. సో ఇప్పుడు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయాలి. హౌ కెన్ ఐ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ మై కోడ్? Go and click on this play button. Automatically you will be seeing your code that is getting displayed under your test results. You guys can see here, I am able to see my output. Where is it? Yeah, here. See here. I can see my log that is getting generated. I can see my log is getting generated here. Anyone? Any questions here? Anyone?
So, Pratap, terminal and test results same purpose, right? Like the difference
I'll
in
tell you how it comes through.
okay.
Okay, I'll show you. But apart from that, any questions?
No, I'm good.
Vaishnavi, Mansa, anyone?
No, Pratap, we are good.
Right. So now,
ప్రతాప్ ఐ హావ్ వన్ సో ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ ఓన్లీ ఈ ప్లేస్ నుండే చేయాలి ఆర్ఎల్సి ఇంకెక్కడైనా ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ కి రన్ లాగా అలా ఏమైనా ఉంటుందా
చూపిస్తాను. There are multiple ways to execute your cases.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the easiest way. It's very beginning, right? So that is
Okay.
handy for you. This is the first
Okay.
option. Okay.
Okay.
I'll show you the easiest next option. Okay.
Sure, sure.
There are
Okay.
multiple ways. I'll tell you the second option now.
Sure. Okay.
Run the TS files from terminal. So if you want to execute your TypeScript files or playwright files, right, use this command npx playwright. Ensure that you are using W. Okay, playwright. Most of the people it will be a typo. People write RIGHT. No, just ensure that you have W here. Okay, playwright space test your file name. Npx playwright test space your file name. This is the command you have to use. So run the command. This is the command you have to follow to execute. So what I am going to do here is, okay, let me delete this. I'll go to terminal. I'll start a new terminal. Okay, so now npx playwright test, just drag and drop here. Okay, just drag and drop your folder, the file name. Okay, press enter. Okay, don't worry about what is these three test cases pass. Just keep repeating, right? I'll tell you later, but just see here. You are able to see here, right? So when you execute your code via this playwright runner, your results will be available under test results tab. If you execute your test cases via terminal, your results will be seen on your terminal. Okay, so now you are able to see the output is getting printed 3 times here, right? No, Pratap, I want to see only once. In such cases, what you guys want to do here is go to your playwright.config ts. Please be cautious. Okay, don't modify anything other than the things what I'm telling. Open this playwright.config.ts. Scroll down. You should be able to see something called as projects. Okay, just keep Chromium here. Just keep Chromium here, and rest of the things comment it out. Okay, don't delete anything, just comment out. I'll tell you when you want to enable it. You'll be reusing it again. Okay, now go to terminal, execute the same statement. Now you'll be seeing only one output that is getting displayed. Got it? So this is the another way of executing your test scripts.
What did you exactly drag and drop here? Sorry.
I just drag and drop the file.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Automatically file name will come here.
Okay.
So no, I know I don't want to do this drag and drop. Is there any other way to execute my script? Okay, day1 dot spec dot ts. You can limit to the exact file name also. It will also execute if you don't want drag and drop. So most probably, right, if you do any manual entry, right, we tend to use do mistakes. We'll miss something. So instead of that, to get accuracy, just drag and drop it. It will take the entire full file path. Anyone? Any questions? Am I clear?
Yes, Pratap.
Vaishnavi, any questions?
No, Pratap, I'm good.
Naushin, any questions? Clear?
Yeah, Pratap. No.
Okay. So let's understand about the first concept, okay, which is going to be very much common across all the programming languages. Across all the programming languages, called as variables. What is that? Variables. Okay. If I want to store any data in any programming languages, in any programming language, we use what? Variables. So variables are called as a placeholders to save or to store any data, to store any data. Okay, so what exactly will happen, in the background, right? So assume this is my C drive, so this is my placeholder for my memory, where all my program files or all other project related stuff, everything is going to be saved here. Similarly, now when you guys created a playwright project also, right, some space will be get allocated here. Now inside your programming, if you want to store any data, right, what will happen in this main memory block, a small block will be allocated, say here I want to store my phone number, I want to store an image, I want to store some file. So for each and every entity, a small blocks will be get created, for every block will be giving some name to identify easily. For every block a name will be given. Okay, so now if I want to get the data from this any block, what I will do, I will call by its name. It's very simple, right? I'll repeat it again, no confusion there. Try to understand. If you are not clear, do let me know. So what's going to be happen here is, whenever this is my main memory block, whenever I am going to create, నేను ఎప్పుడైతే ఒక వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తున్నానో, రైట్, వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్, నేను ఎప్పుడైతే ఒక వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేసిన ప్రతిసారి ఏమవుతుంది, నాకు ఒక ఎంటీ బ్లాక్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. ఆ బ్లాక్కి ఏముంటుంది, ఒక నేమ్ అనేది ఇస్తాం. సో ఒక వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా దానికి ఒక నేమ్ ఇవ్వాలి. ఓకే, ఆ నేమ్ అజ్యూమ్ లైక్ ఏ, నేను ఏ అని ఇవ్వగానే ఏమవుతుంది, నాకు జస్ట్ ఒక ఎంటీ బ్లాక్ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఈ వేరియబుల్లో నేను ఏమైతే వాల్యూ స్టోర్ చేస్తానో అది ఎక్కడ స్టోర్ అవుతుంది, ఈ ఎంటీ బ్లాక్లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, సో నేను నా ప్రోగ్రామింగ్లో ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఏదైనా డేటాని స్టోర్ చేయాలంటే ఎలా స్టోర్ చేయగలుగుతానో, ఒక వేరియబుల్లో స్టోర్ చేయగలుగుతాను. సో నేను ఎప్పుడైతే వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తానో, నా మెయిన్ మెమరీ బ్లాక్ అంటే నా ప్రాజెక్ట్ అనేది ఎక్కడైతే స్టోర్ అయిందో, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సి డ్రైవ్ అనుకుందాం. ఓకే, ఈ సి డ్రైవ్లో ఎంటైర్ సి డ్రైవ్ ఆక్యుపై చేయదు. ఈ ఎంటైర్ సి డ్రైవ్లో నేను ఏమైతే వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తానో, క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక స్మాల్ ఎంటీ బ్లాక్ విల్ బి గెట్ created. Inside that a empty space will be available. Inside that we need to store the value. So creating a small empty block, ఈ empty block ఏమైతే క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నామో దాన్ని ఏమంటామంటే మనం వేరియబుల్ డిక్లరేషన్ అంటాం. వాట్ యు కాల్, we will be calling it as a వేరియబుల్ డిక్లరేషన్. ఈ ఎంటీ స్పేస్లో నువ్వు ఏమైతే వాల్యూ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తున్నావో దాన్ని వాల్యూ అసైన్మెంట్ అంటాం. వాట్ యు కాల్, ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి కాల్ ఇట్ as అసైన్మెంట్, value assignment. So creating a empty block is nothing but variable declaration. Inserting a value into that empty block is going to be called as value assignment. Okay, so any questions on this before I teach you how to create a variable? Any questions?
No.
Anyone? Any questions? Harita, Manasa,
No,
Vaishnavi, clear?
no questions.
Yes.
Right. Now, how to create a variable? రే మోహన్ నిద్రపోతున్నావు నువ్వు.
No, bro.
How to create a variable? Okay, so in JavaScript there are 3 keywords that helps us to create a variable. Any keywords ఉన్నాయి? 3 keywords. Okay, let, constant and var. So we won't recommend you are not going to be recommended to use the keyword called as var. We'll be using only let, constant, but we'll have to understand how to use var. Okay, why you are, we also need to have a reason, right, why you are not going to utilize var. Okay, so now I know that there are 3 keywords which is going to help me to create variable. What are those? Let, constant and var. Okay, so the syntax to create a variable is your keyword, use any keyword, okay, space your variable name, keyword space variable name. So what you call this? This is the syntax which is going to help you to create a variable. Creation of variable is nothing but what? Declaration. Okay, now to assign a value, what you want to do here? I want to assign some value, right? Assign a value. So how can I assign the value? Variable name is equal to some value. So this is going to be called as initialization or assignment, value assignment. So assigning a value to a variable is nothing but your initialization. So declaration will allow me to create what? Whenever I'm going to declare a variable, a empty block will be created with a name. What will happen? With a name. So to insert a value, how can I insert a value? Variable name equal to some value, then this value will go and sit into this empty block. Now if I want to get any data from this any block, how can I retrieve? I can retrieve by using its name only. I can retrieve its using by its name only. నన్ను ఎవరైనా పిలవాలి అంటే నాతో ఎలా పిలవగలుగుతారు? Using the name only. If you call by my name, I can respond you back, else I won't respond you back. Okay, clear? So let's see how programmatically we can create a variable. Let's understand how programmatically we can create a variable. So I'm using a keyword called as let name. Okay, let name. So ఎప్పుడైనా సరే మనం ఒక టెక్స్ట్ వాల్యూ స్టోర్ చేస్తున్నాం అంటే ఆల్వేస్ ఎన్షూర్ దట్ యూస్ డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఆర్ సింగిల్ కోట్స్. ఏదైనా సరే టెక్స్ట్ డేటా, స్ట్రింగ్ డేటాని ఎప్పుడైనా సరే మీరు సేవ్ చేయాలనుకుంటే యూస్ డబుల్ కోట్స్ ఆర్ సింగిల్ కోట్స్. సో ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు యూజ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ప్రతాప్. ఓకే, let age is equal to some number, whatever it may be, right? So now I have created a variable and I assigned it in a same line. Either you can assign the value like this or we can assign the value like this as well, not a problem. Okay, instead of having multiple lines, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my variable and assigning the value in the same line. Okay, I'm going to create a variable and I'm going to assign it in the same line. Okay, so now how can I see my output in JavaScript? What are the ways to see my output? How can I see it? What is the statement that I need to use to print your output? What is the statement?
Console log.
Log.
Console.log. So what I told you, if I want to see any value of a variable, how should I call it? Call by its what?
Name. Very
Name.
good.
Name. So name ఏంది ఇక్కడ. So this is called my variable. Call by variable name. ఇక్కడ name అనేది variable name. Age అనేది variable name. So call by its variable name. So then only I can see the value that is available inside that variable. Okay. So I'm going to call it. Okay. Now console.log. I'll be using my age. So let's go and execute it. I can see here Veera and 34. Got it? Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pratap, instead of having multiple statements, can I get both the values in one line? Yes. Just put a comma and call it. Just put a comma and call it. Okay. With a space, it will be differentiated and you can see the output that is coming up here. Make sense? Clear? All right. Okay. Yeah. So with this, I will take a break. So I don't want to have a discontinuation between the session. That's the reason, though I was completely occupied, I start the session today. So we'll resume the session tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock again. Okay. So where will be discuss little more about your let keyword, constant keyword, and where. So which is going to be very interesting one, which is very much important for your interview as well. Definitely they'll be asking the differentiation between what is meant by let, constant, and where. We'll try to understand it very deeply. Okay. Anyone, any questions? No, right?
Okay.
No, no, bro.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you. Then. Bye.
Yeah, hi Pratap.
Sorry. 1 second.
Yeah, this is
Stop the recording. 1 second.